I spent my whole damn life in the city. I could go for broke, but the capital is in me. I spent my whole damn life in the city. Anywhere I go, DC's coming with me. I spent my whole damn life in the city. I could go for broke, but the capital is in me. I spent my whole damn life in the city. Anywhere I go, DC's coming with me. I spent my whole damn life in the city. I could go for broke, but the capital is in me.
Welcome, everyone, to District Divided, a DC sports podcast, more specifically a Washington Commanders podcast. I am Amit. That is K-Dot. If you saw the last episode, I guaranteed a victory today. I wore the shades. They're right here. I don't think I'm going to need them for the rest of the season, the way I'm feeling right now. Just the icky... That's K-Dot. You know what? Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Share that shit. K-Dot, we lost to the Giants. We got swept by the Giants. Tommy DeVito played quarterback. He had a 137.7 rating, 18 to 26, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns. He got sacked 9 times. Good for us. Woohoo. Your thoughts? Fuck this. Your thoughts?
Mom chicken parm was the shit last night, baby. Like, Tommy DeVito is here. Look, I mean, so before, I'm sure we're going to have this entire episode to give you shit about the shades. Now, I did tell you that if we lost this game, I was ready to hop in your ass. I guess I should ask you, what the fuck did you see before this game that made you think so confidently about this? Because it's like, see, the thing is, so this game happened. I'm laughing my ass off during the entire process of this game.
Yeah,
I was in the basement of this house, just fucking crying with laughter, because it just got to a point where it was a comedy of errors. Just every single time that anything was going, we never really got anything going. But sometimes the running game with Brian Robinson. And here's the thing: I'll start with some positive. I did like one of the big criticisms I had for Eric Bieniemy was the lack of variety in runs. Mm-hmm. He spiced things up a little bit this episode. There's some seasoning there with it. He definitely tried, at least early on, certain standpoints to get with the short pass game going. The only thing, and this might sound familiar to our Scott Turner criticism, is that there was absolutely no rhythm or rhyme or reason in the way that he was doing it. Nothing felt cohesive. Nothing felt as though it was moving as a unit on offense at all. And the Giants just have Sam Howell's number, apparently, or the team's number. I mean, if you look at the Brian Dable era, they're 2-0-1 against us.
Now 3.
Right, now 3. And the thing is, like, it just, to me, it just felt like it made sense. I didn't understand the idea that everybody felt so jazzed about this particular team winning against this Giants team, when it's like, hey, it wasn't but a few weeks ago they beat us. We didn't look good on offense, and nothing changed as far as that dynamic other than what you might have think we did on offense. But this is also a team that week to week, you don't know who they're going to play up to or play down to. If there's one thing that you can hang your hat on with Washington, we are so consistently inconsistent. Mm-hmm. Like that is the thing. And that's not the mark of a good team. It's not a good team. Like, that's the thing, is like, you don't know what team is going to show up. The only thing you do know is that there might be moments of flashes of looking good, but mostly you're going to be looking at this team and saying, wow, there's so many ways in which we could do better. And it was all for shit. Like, the team always comes out, they're looking flat most of the time. Even when things are looking good for the most part, there never seems to be a real rah-rah energy behind this team in any sort of capacity. Offense looked dejected, checked out. Defense looked dejected and checked out. We had 9 sacks. We were 1 point in the first half of this game pushing towards the sack record in a fucking game. And it never felt that way, because you kept looking at the score and be like, oh, we're still down. So it's like, it didn't fucking matter. And you had Sam Howell. Look, we know the Sam Howell. I'm not one. I know that everybody right now on Twitter is going, everybody was saying Sam Howell's the guy. Look, I still think Sam Howell has a hell of a lot to give in this league. I am also one that thinks that he has done enough to earn the opportunity to be the starter next year here in Washington. I also know that when it comes to young quarterbacks, sometimes they have games that are just absolute shit. And I think what you're looking at offensively with Sam Howell, and especially against the Giants, is you look at our receivers, you look at this offense. When we're playing against Wink Martindale and that man coverage, there's no separation as far as the receivers go. Yeah, I can't wait to look at the all-22 on this game, because you just see that there's a difference between the way that we play the passing game against zone compared to man. Man, nobody's beating anybody. And I don't want to think that Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson aren't talented. I think they're extremely talented, but they're just not getting enough separation. And you have Sam Howell still doing rookie shit, which is holding on the football too fucking long or thinking he can make this throw when he clearly can't, which sometimes we laud him for it. And even in this game, he had one or two throws. There was this a dime that he had. I think it was the Logan Thomas. It was either Logan Thomas or John Bates. It was right over the linebacker's head. It was like, oh, that's awesome. And then you have another one where he just throws a direct fucking interception. It happens. This team is not good. It's just not. And the defense especially is not good. And I know everybody's, well, I mean, if you turn the ball over that many times, how can you expect the defense? Look, man, it was Tommy motherfucking DeVito. Like, what are we talking about? It's Tommy motherfucking DeVito. That even when we were getting the sacks, how many times did they convert on 3rd and long? It's still, like, they still were able to keep things going. Like, there's nothing in this game that I'm looking at and I'm like, oh, yeah. The only person that gets any sort of, maybe Brian Robinson, maybe he gets like, all right, good job, keep doing what you, Chris Rodriguez at certain points. But nobody looked focused. The team looks out of it. And Lord knows what the fuck is going to happen on Thanksgiving. But that's the thing. We get smoked by the Giants. We got smoked by the Bears. We played the Eagles to the last possession of the game. Who knows what happens with Dallas? I think the Dallas is going to smoke the shit out of us, but I don't know. I don't know.
All right. So we're 4-7. We, like you said, are consistently inconsistent. We play up to the level of competition. We play down to the level of competition. There was a lot there, but one of the things that you had asked was, what made you, Amit, so confident in this game being a Commanders victory, a lock, a guarantee, a Shades. What was it? We released Friday. Shades Friday. 2 days before the game. What conditions were there? Number one, Tommy DeVito was playing quarterback. Okay. It wasn't like we were playing Daniel Jones, who we know for whatever reason is very good against us and nobody else. It wasn't Tyrod Taylor, who that's on the road. He's still a seasoned NFL quarterback. He's a veteran in the league. Okay. He's won some games. Fine. It was Tommy DeVito. And you look at the Giants as a whole, and they are far and away, to me, the worst team in the NFL. Well, were. Maybe still are. It's up for debate now. We just got swept by them. So Tommy DeVito's out there. Darren Waller's out. Arguably their top receiving option, short of perhaps Saquon Barkley, honestly, where we were supposed to stop. There's one guy there. There's one guy to stop. 14 carries, 83 yards. Initially, we bottled him up, and it looked good early on. But then he broke a few. 4 catches, 57 yards, 2 touchdowns. Can't guard him. This team just cannot. Speaking, my
Stick
mind
to the
is
question.
all,
Stick
my
to
mind
the question.
is all
I know,
over the place.
But here's the stick to the question. Here's what I'm noticing.
Yes.
Is you're really focusing on the opponent.
Yes, I am focusing.
On this team that made you think
The confidence on this team was that it had nothing to do with us. It had everything to do with how bad they were. And I think the point to an extent was proven because after turning the ball over 5 times with just under 2 minutes left, we're down 5 and have the ball with a chance to win. It took 5 turnovers to get to that point, and we still could have won it. That is crazy. That is how bad the New York Giants are. It's true. That's how bad they are. We gave them 5 turnovers, and we were only down 5 with just under 2 minutes left, a timeout, and the football. That's crazy. And then, of course, naturally, there had to be a 6th. And it had to be a pick six. It just made all the sense in the world at that point. This was an atrocious loss. For us to fumble, what was it, 4 times, I believe? Four different players fumbled.
Therefore, yeah.
That is a collective. That is when that many people turn the ball over, that is coaching. It's one thing for a young quarterback to have a bad game. Like if Howell threw 5 picks, okay, he made some bad decisions, and you could at least put it mostly on the growing pains of a young quarterback. We had Howell turn it over 3 times. We had Chris Rodriguez turn it over. We had Byron Pringle turn it over. And we had Logan Thomas turn it over. And we had Brian Robinson fumble too. I mean, shout out Jamison Crowder for the recovery on that one. I mean, that is crazy. That is crazy. This team is so ill prepared. This obviously a loss like this falls on both players and coaches, but the coaches have been here for 4 years. They've been here for 4 years. So how are you so consistently ill prepared for this? The margin of loss was lower to the Eagles than it was to the Giants over the 2 games we played each of them.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy. What does that tell? Like what? How?
So,
right? So that's coaching. That's coaching. We're up. We're down. We're 0-4 against the Giants and Eagles. We're 0-4 in the division, and we got an ass whooping coming on Thanksgiving Day.
Maybe not. I don't, maybe not.
Maybe not. That's the crazy thing. You're right. Go ahead.
Grandpa's tweeted this. The Commanders have been favored in 4 games this season.
We're not good favorites.
They have not covered in any of those games.
We've lost 3
straight out.
Yeah, we've lost
their last 3 as favorites by combined 39 points. Now, see, that's the thing is like what you're talking about when it comes to the coaching aspect. Oh, and also this other stat. This is NFL on CBS. The Commanders are the first team since 1984 to have 9+ sacks and lose by double digits. Fun fact. So
that is a fun fact.
The thing to me is like the coaching thing is like anytime I see a player just fumble the football, I want to blame the player, right? Like because you got the ball in your hand, you did whatever. Sometimes, I mean, you look at the Giants and you say they were hawking, like they're punching the ball out, they're doing everything they possibly can do to kind of generate that, and you can see that like beyond the players need to get, how do you get the players to do better in that? It's a lack of focus and study on this particular thing, right? Which is what leads to it. And I think that in a lot of these times, in a lot of these games, especially games in which we're not favored, I really do think they coast through that practice week or through training before it is they get against that opponent. It feels as though this is a team that will overlook certain teams, and we're not in a place to do so. This is a team that has an overinflated sense of who it is they are. This is a team that you have Ron Rivera, everybody telling you, we're just a little, we're really close. We just need this. We're just a quarterback away. We just need that. And you got fans that also buy into it, that we're right around the cusp, right? Like things are looking better. I'm looking forward to next year. I'm looking forward to next year because we got a lot of salary cap room, and that means a lot of new people a lot of new faces might come around. But there's the idea that like with Washington, it always feels as though that what's sold to us and we buy sometimes is we're one step away. Mm-hmm. And what that allows you to do is to not do what you need to do to get better. The Philadelphia Eagles, we played them twice, and I remember saying the same thing about them both times, is that what ends up happening to most teams after they lose a Super Bowl is they think they have enough to make it back. Just run it back. And Philadelphia said, fuck that. We got to retool, and we have to be so much better than we were. And they did that. They spent the entire offseason doing so much to retool that team. You look at the Cincinnati Bengals after they had the loss in it. What did they do? New offensive line. Let's go. Let's do this, do that. That's why they've had bad success as far as Joe Burrow's injuries and this, that, and the other. Those are the marks as far as franchises that are actually looking towards being realistic about who it is they are. There's a self-evaluation I don't think has happened here. These guys think they are so much closer than they are. Ron Rivera in this front office thinks these guys are better than they are. It's the reason you have the Andrew Wileys come through or the former Panthers come through. They always think these guys are better than they are.
Yeah, but this is because I don't think this is always the case, right? So I think as you continue in your coaching tenure, the expectations begin to mount. They begin to go, okay, you've been here for now 3 years. Now you've been here for 4 years. So the language is going to change. So all of a sudden you're attempting to match the expectations of where you're supposed to be after 4 years, right? I think that part of that is at play as well, because if he just goes, hey, we don't have a good roster. Well, it's year 4, buddy. Why don't we have a good roster? So I think it just turns into one of those things where he now has to say those things. Now, granted, I believe he believes it.
Right. That's my
Granted,
thing.
I believe he believes it. But even if he didn't, he would be saying it anyway, is my point. That's the proof.
Not
which
Ron.
Is that
if we know Ron, it's not Ron. Like
I did think
if it was anybody else,
go ahead.
If it was anybody else, I'd be with you.
Yeah.
Not him. I think that he's honest to a fault. And even if he gives some coach speak and bullshit every once in a while, it's so transparent. It's fucking crazy. Right. So like, it's just a matter of, I do think they looked at this roster and thought, because look, we've all kind of carried the water to a certain degree. And look, I'm still not super down on the team. I'm kind of where I was. Look, I thought we were in jeopardy of losing this game. Like going into this game. All right. I didn't think that it was a slam dunk. I didn't understand anybody. I think it was a slam dunk. It was
about the Giants being that bad. That was why it was a slam dunk.
But to me, it's about us.
I thought we were good enough to beat a team this bad. That's what I was thinking.
No, and it's the same reason why I think the Cowboys game is one of two. I don't think it's one of those games you lose. I don't know. We'll do the preview episode, but just based on what you're feeling in this one, it's one of the reasons why I don't believe the Cowboys game is going to be one of those games where you lose by 7 or you lose
you're
by
right.
10. This is going to be one of those games where you're either down to the wire or
which this team's capable of.
Right. Or right out the gate, the Cowboys are having fun. We're not.
Yep.
They start on fire. We're flat.
Yep.
And the doors get blown the fuck off. And we're looking at whoever the backups are for Dallas when the fourth quarter rolls around. So like that is, but that's us. And I have not, even when we're doing good, I have not seen this team feel confident. Haven't seen it.
And I think that makes a lot of sense when you look back at Graham Paulson's tweet and really what A-Train was saying when he was abroad and seeing the board very clearly. This team is favorites. They need to prove it first. And then Amit comes back and forgets A-Train's wisdom and guarantees a victory as a favorite. Makes no sense. We're about to go to the comment mailbag, but I do need to ask
Amit
you.
Has A-Train's Coke confidence. Go ahead.
He lends it to me sometimes. So the question I have is, well, here we are again. Ron Rivera, Jack Del Rio. We've had the conversation.
You can't fire him now.
Can't fire him now.
You can't fire him on a short week to Dallas. Like if you want something to turn really, really badly, okay. Once again, this team, we are who we are.
If the team loses,
I don't think anybody quite understands where I'm coming from on this. Is that I've said this for weeks now. If we win the rest of the games this season, they still need to be fired. Like
no. We're all there with you.
Okay,
we are all there with you. I'm saying if they lose on Thursday, right? So then you get sort of a mini bye, right? That has commonly been used. That Friday has been used to change coaches in the past.
You do it over the weekend. You let him get some time with his family on Friday.
That's fair. It is a Thanksgiving after.
It's Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Or
enough.
Jay Gruden tweeted about Black Monday.
Black Monday. He did.
Like I do not. And from what it looks like it's tracking, there will at least, in my opinion, be one firing by next week. I'm not guaranteed that it will be Ron, but I am pretty much guaranteeing Jack Del Rio's gone.
I will say this. Actually, it's funny you mentioned Jack Del Rio. I've changed my mind on Jack Del Rio. I want him to stay. I want him to be our offensive coordinator because his ability to scheme people open is unlike anything I have ever seen. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump into the comment mailbag here, where we have 5, maybe 6 comments. Beginning with Nelson Wolf from the previous episode, the one prior to the last one we just did, which was the reaction video after we lost to the Seattle Seahawks, a close one on the road. How about that? Shout out Nelson. So here we go. Some rumblings about Stephon Diggs potentially being disgruntled in Buffalo. If there was potential for him to be moved this offseason, how would you guys feel about the Commanders bringing him home? And what type of assets would you be willing to give up for him? K-Dot, I will let you begin there.
I love Stephon Diggs. I think he'd be amazing on this team. I'm not giving up shit for him. I'm also one that believes that because of the way the colleges and the rules in the NFL have changed, you can get a lot of value with rookie wide receivers if you got the right offense coordinator and right quarterback. And I do think that there is talent on this team in the wide receiver room. They're just not being utilized to the best of their abilities.
Fair enough. If I am throwing away the logical side of my brain, just engaging in the fun side of things, I would absolutely love Stephon Diggs over here. I mean, he's a very fun character. He's an elite wide receiver. His route running is unbelievable. And it would take some pressure off of Terry. It would be awesome. Now, does it make sense? Probably not. You would also have to give something up, right? Like Nelson is mentioning. So I wouldn't, but if we did, hey, fuck it, let's have fun, right? And
There
then
are
we
two
go
other
over,
veteran receivers I'd rather have.
and they are.
From a locker room standpoint, and I'm not one to buy into full Stephon Diggs is like the locker room cancer. I don't think that. I just do.
No, I don't think that at all.
I think he wears his emotions on his face
Because he cares. Yeah, I'm fine.
He cares. But Mike Evans and Keenan Allen, I do think that this team has a very big dearth of veterans. It's something that I know I've talked about on here that I do think that they need more vets. And vets with a pedigree. Mike Evans has a Super Bowl. He played with Tom Brady. We need some of that shit in this locker room. I think you have veterans that have been
some know-how.
No, because you have the veterans that are here. They have been here for a while, but they only know here. What are they imparting wisdom-wise to the young kids that let you know what is a recipe for success?
That's
other than something individual.
Okay. Interesting shouts on both of them. I'll think more about that. I like the idea of Mike Evans in particular because of what you said. He's won a Super Bowl before. Keenan, I think, is a more... Ooh, I don't even know. Anyway, I'll think more about that. We have a few more comments. We go to Blood Clot. Shout out Blood Clot. You could share with this or you could share with that in reference to share this shit, share that shit. He was saying you can use this, you can use that. That's what it says.
Are there music notes next to that?
There is a music note next to it.
You can share with this. You can share with that. You can share with that. Is that for?
I'm completely off today.
Black Eye, right?
Yeah.
Is this Fatboy Slim? Let me know if it's Fatboy Slim.
It probably is, and I missed it, and K-Dot got it. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because you guys. Anyway. And this really proves it. Is the rest of this comment here? This Giants game has me worried, and here's why. All the Giants have to do is look at all the past game tape to see how we're exposed because Del Rio, my God, nailed it. Because Del Rio does not change his game plan no matter what. Isaiah Hodgins said this after the game. He will hammer the cylinder through the square all day long. You know, when you play Madden and you select one type of defense so much, you click through the selections in half a second. From muscle memory, that's Jack Del Rio. Blood Clot, you hit that one out of the park. Absolutely.
Five down linemen. Blitz. Oh, no. Oh, no, shit. It's not working anymore. Go to nickel.
We got two comments from the Hawk TV. Shout out. Now commented on multiple videos. As millennial fans of this team, I don't think we've ever capitalized when we were heavy favorites. Once again, correct. Thanks for taking my comment, y'all. For the life of me, I cannot figure out why we haven't plucked anyone away from the Baltimore Ravens organization. They've been a competitive franchise for at least 20 years. But hey, Dan knew all the answers, and that's why he failed the test. Peace, y'all. Shout out the Hawk TV with two very good comments. What do you make of that, K-Dot? Not bringing anybody in for the Baltimore Ravens organization.
No one that has any brain wanted to work for Dan Snyder. Like, you got to look at that. Like, what did it take for Ron? Well, everybody's feeling a certain way about Ron right now. What did it take for Ron to accept the job? A full day in Joe Gibbs's house to have Joe Gibbs have lunch and dinner with him to convince him, hey, it's okay. You can go there. No one with a brain wants to fucking be here. And the 2 or 3 people that were worth a damn that did come here got ran the fuck off. I'm looking at you, Scott McClellan, and I'm looking at you, Eric DaCosta. Like, these motherfuckers, they got ran off.
Then we go over to Ridge Where Your Helmet At. Shout out, Ridge Where Your Helmet At. Was an all-time moment when Amit called that win over the Brady Bucks a couple of years ago. But that now means we're due to lose this one. Not going to lie, I wouldn't be that upset if that happens. Hopefully everyone is out. And let's be real, that's exactly what happened. We were due to lose this one. We did lose this one. Man, we got some smart commenters over here. Everyone's going, hey, I'm worried. I'm going, no problem. Relax. We lose by 12. What do you make of that comment, Kid?
See, I start feeding in the Amit Kool-Aid, and I put a $50 parlay together based on your confidence. I'm still
you'll note I did not reply to that. I was like, oh boy.
I had Sam Howell for 2 touchdowns. I had Brian Robinson with a touchdown, Jahan Dotson with a touchdown. I'm looking at this like, all right, maybe Amit's right. And I'm gonna get. And as soon as the game started, like 5 minutes, I'm like, oh nope, that's $50 gone.
So yeah, the one thing you need to know, guys, just behind the curtain for a moment, is that K-Dot and I have a very good relationship in that if I text him or he texts me, we get back to each other instantly. Like there is little to no lag time whatsoever. So he sends me that parlay, it starts hitting me how real it is, and I see what all's in there. I do not say a word. I just
he ran so far away from his fucking confidence in this tech. Goddamn, boy. We need to put you out there on punt return. I wonder what your fucking 40 time was run away from this.
I fucking hold on to the ball because I just go down at the 5-yard line before anyone could touch me. At least we'd have 1st and 10. And then we go over to Vindo. Shout out Vindo. Unfortunate loss. Oh, this is so now after. Unfortunate loss, but I would imagine the coaching staff will be fired after this game or the Cowboys game. So this will release. We're recording this on a Sunday night. This will release Monday, 8 a.m. Maybe there's a change by then, in which case we'll probably quickly do another episode. I don't think that's going to happen. But after the Cowboys game, maybe. It's unfortunate that we will still have to suffer, but we must remember the Stitch Snyder has left this team. And it still seems to linger around in reference to the staff.
Huh.
Stitch, maybe meant Stitch. I'm not sure.
Stitch.
Oh, it's a Stitch.
I'm wondering if he meant stench.
Oh, stench makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I was just reading it verbatim. I'd imagine he finishing this year out. By the way, just in reference to the comment mailbag, I always have to make that decision on the fly. Do I go with what I think the word is, or am I just going to read it verbatim?
No, you read it verbatim.
I've begun just reading it verbatim. I'd imagine he finishing this year out, but man, it doesn't look good for him right now. Only posting 12 against the worst. Oh, wait, sorry. Second worst defense. I'm not really mad, just more embarrassed. But at the end of the day, Snyder is gone. Josh hasn't brought in his team, and Magic will be posting about this and I know Magic will be posting about this because it's unacceptable regardless who we play against. I'm a ride or die fan, and things like this are a part of the game. I'm still gonna stick up for my team. HTTC. Heart. We love you, Vindo. Appreciate the comment there. Love all of you guys for commenting. Really appreciate it. What do you make of that comment, Kato?
Magic did tweet, and he said, wow, my Washington Commanders turned the ball over 6 times today and gave the Giants 24 points off turnovers. We lost 31-19. I'm glad you can read a box score, Magic. I'm glad you can read a box score.
Well, considering how the other ones have been, I think I was waiting for the tweet. I was like, what's he going to say this time?
That might have been like his 2nd or 3rd attempt. They were just like, oh, you can't say that, Magic.
Well, the fact that the apathy is already setting in within the first season of him even having
there shouldn't be.
It's a joke, of course.
These guys, they have absolutely no allegiance to anyone that's in the building right now. Not a one. And I think that to me, this is what the rest of this year is about, man. Like it's just one of those things where like the only thing that concerns me after seeing a game like this is you have guys that might be talented that are now losing it. Mm-hmm. They're losing the mentals. They're losing the confidence. They're losing the things that need to make them tick. Terry has looked like a fucking shell of himself all season.
Yes, he has. It has been an underwhelming year for him.
And you can tell it looks like below the surface he's frustrated, but he's not one of those dudes who's going to take it out on anybody else. He's not going to say anything. I don't know if there's a lack, like when you're watching the All-22 in previous games on this, there's a lack of separation. I don't know if it's the scheme. I don't know if he's not trying hard. I don't know what it is.
I know what it is. Because during training camp, when we were told that these teams were lighting each other up, more specifically our offense against the defense, it's because Del Rio, again, everyone's open all the time. So we get this inflated sense of offense that occurs very, very early on because our defense has been the same forever and there's constantly space. And so then all of a sudden we enter a season where we go against teams that are coached and end up making adjustments and end up making it more difficult over time. And we probably practice the same way. So, and also there's just been a lot of spiritual beatdowns. I mean, we talk about this game, we talk about the Chicago game, we talk about the 2 heartbreakers to Philadelphia where we're really close, but just can't quite get there. Winning is a skill. Like, you could be up and down, but we're losing all of them. It feels like it's just one of those things where, and this is to your point with the deterioration of talent, of confidence, of skill, like these things are real. And so that's why when we talk about firings, because this is a livelihood for these people, it is a serious one, right? But it's also important to note, well, this is the opportunity cost of not doing something. This is the cost of inaction. And so that's probably the most coherent thing I've said this entire podcast, but appreciate
we're
you
not doing it after the pod, right?
No.
Okay. Let me ask you
this. This is a short episode.
Right. Let me ask you this before we go, because it's important. Yes.
Yeah.
Where are you on Eric Bieniemy as far as head coach?
Oof. So the main point there, I'm going to talk through it a little bit and find my answer as I talk through it. The main point there is that I do believe he is good for Sam Howell. And I think he's proven that he is good for Sam Howell and has done so pretty quickly. Now, if the offense is going to continue looking like it does, and this is what you said in the last episode, if it continues looking like it does, I do have concerns, because as much as I love Sam Howell and want that chemistry to continue, I do not want it to come at the detriment of the long-term health of this team when it comes to coaching, when it comes to trusting the head man. And that's what the head coach is. So I am now on the fence. I think at that time I saw Sam Howell leading the league in passing yards, was feeling good about it. And then you get your ups and downs. So I accept Howell's performance of like, okay, you're young. This is career game 12.
I'm sorry. The way you made it seem, that was 3 days ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when you guarantee a victory and you throw the shades on Friday and then you come back, you can't hold the same opinion. Like, something's got to change. If it's raining outside, right?
Uh-huh.
And if it's raining outside, you go out, you take an umbrella with you. Okay. And then if it's sunny out, you don't ask where the umbrella is. You go, hey, the situation's different. I'm not bringing an umbrella out anymore. The situation's different. After another spiritual beatdown, I'm all over the place. You need to know that. Everyone knows that. I'm in pain. I've been trying to mask it. I've not been doing a good job of it. Here we are. Today
we are who we are. Like,
we are who we are. Today didn't help. I will be much more calm for the preview episode of the
fuck out of here, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here. We've been talking about the rest of the schedule. We just got smoked by the Giants, bro. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, I just need to. It's the same day right now. Again, we're recording on Sunday night. You were crying. You were crying.
The way I gotta, when I was looking at those numbers and Sam Howell was on top of, motherfucker, that was hours ago. It was like how your world done changed.
This is a brutal loss. This is a brutal loss.
This is I guess because I saw it coming, it's not hitting his heart. It was embarrassing, though. This is one of the most embarrassing losses ever. It's up there with it. Like, maybe it's more embarrassing than the Chicago loss.
Speaking of, I did put a poll up just for 3 hours just to see what people were thinking, and it ended up being that more people. This is a short poll. I think like only 10 to 20 people replied to it or whatever, but like more people did think that this loss could be recency bias, but this loss was worse than the Thursday night football game against the Chicago Bears. I think it was worse because again, we're looking at the disparity at QB.
Yeah,
Again,
that's
the main selling point here, it's Tommy DeVito. Like,
That's
and he
huge.
could end up being, but he's not going to be like Justin Field. Like Justin Fields still had it in him at the tail end of last season.
No,
He was
he'll be
spectacular.
Daniel Jones, which is he's spectacular against us.
Right.
You're
So-
welcome, Daniel Jones. You're welcome,
Yeah.
Tommy DeVito. There's one of you, Danny Amendola. You remember that motherfucker? When he played for the Rams, he had this game where he scored like 20 fucking
Yes,
passes
I do
against
remember
us,
that.
and he got signed immediately. It's like we get guys paid. That's what
We
we
do get guys paid. We do get a lot of guys paid. So anyway, this is the show. This is just divided DC Sports Podcast, more specifically a Washington Commanders podcast. I'm Amit. That is K-Dot. K-Dot's the steady one. I'm the volatile one. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and K-Dot.
We're turning stereotypes on their head. Share this shit.
Share this shit. What a day. We will see you guys for the preview episode against the Cowboys. And yeah, that's all. Enjoy yourselves. See ya.
I guess.
In DC, we're just hoping that you listen.